Hey guys, this is Spartacus here, and welcome back to another video. Hopefully you guys are enjoying your extra long weekend, but today's video is going to be such a weird video because I don't exactly know what to talk about. I know I want to talk about the operators that we see in Black Ops Cold War, and I guess with Warzone and in Modern Warfare as well, and how I just don't really think there's any use to them, and how it also ties in with basically this continuation of some storyline throughout the multiplayer and through Warzone, which is kind of a first thing that we've been seeing with Call of Duty, because normally when it comes to Call of Duty storylines, it's just the campaign and that's it. And then of course Zombies has its own storyline, and now apparently Zombies, multiplayer, and Warzone all share this same storyline with the Modern Warfare universe, and holy smokes, it is like so freaking confusing. But what I really want to focus on at the start of this video is the operators, because of course we have all these different operators to choose from two different types of factions, and of course they're all like part of the story one way or another. However, most, if not, yeah, I would say probably most of these characters that we're able to play, these operators were able to play as, aren't really any use in the storyline. Like, there's some pretty big names like Adler, Woods, and then of course the main bad guys we see each season, which is kind of funny because they're going with this formula that each new season they always have to introduce a new bad guy to actually play as, which I just find hilarious. I don't know why we can't get any good guys in the game, but whatever. So yeah, either way. And then of course half the operators by the end of the game's life cycle, there's only going to be about half of them that you can get for free, and the other half that you actually have to pay for bundles. And so especially the ones where you have to pay bundles for really aren't part of the storyline whatsoever. Like you'll probably see them in cutscenes, and they might be like have some importance in one particular part of a cutscene, but realistically most of these operators are like completely useless to the storyline. They're just to add more, I guess, content to the game. And of course usually they try to add more badass characters, which I guess is good, but also just give us cool outfits for like the old characters, or for by the default ones when the game first came out, or like with the mill slims and stuff like that. Just give us cool operator skins for that, instead of creating new operators that you have to pay for in the bundles, who are by default already looking cool. But of course I guess that's the way they get their money, right? They want you to pay for the cool skins, the cool operators in the market, and instead not get them for free in the battle pass or just in free in general. So man, operators, I just don't really see the point of them. Also, of course, when you're in the operator selection screen, that you can actually read their bios and understand who they are. I'm going to be honest with you guys, not once have I ever read any of these bios. I just don't really see the point in reading them. So I guess if you really wanted to know about some of these characters that you may not see in the cutscenes very much, maybe they are a big of an importance if you read their bios. But who reads the bios? Like, honestly, I don't think anybody ever reads the bios. There's just no point to them. Like, there's just no point to having this lore and story with the multiplayer and Warzone. I really don't like how they're doing that, just because it's really confusing. And like, I do kind of understand what's currently going on with like the lore and Call of Duty story right now, but it's not really that interesting to me, you know. I know it's supposed to grab people's attention and try to get them, I guess, like into it more, but I'm not really into the whole story thing. I'm not really, I just want to play multiplayer, you know. That's it. Another thing that I would like to compare these operators to are these specialists we saw with Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4. And what's interesting is that when I look at the specialist characters that you can play in Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4, I'm more interested in the story between those characters than the operators we see currently in Cold War and in Modern Warfare. And I think the reason for that being is because the specialists that we got first introduced in Black Ops 3, we really didn't know anything about them. They weren't part of actually the campaign at all. And so of course Black Ops 4 didn't even have a campaign, and they had like some sort of story to it where the specialists got tied in, but they didn't do a very good job with it, if I'm being completely honest with you. And I think the reason why I was more intrigued or interested in the background of these certain specialist characters back in Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4 is because each of them had their own unique abilities, whether that's a specialist weapon or a specialist ability. There was something unique about them that no other specialist character could do. And so that's why I actually enjoyed, I think, the specialist character system better than the current operator system, because all the operators, doesn't matter who you play as, you're not going to gain any sort of certain special ability by playing as, like, I guess Adler compared to as you play as Woods or something like that. It's just, there isn't anything special about them gameplay wise. It's only for the storyline purposes. But even though I kind of prefer them not to return to the specialist form where we have specialist weapons and specialist abilities, I just felt like they were way too powerful. Sure, they were fun to use, but I just felt like in Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4, they were just so powerful, and especially people who used Grav Slam or the gravity spikes, those guys can just go to hell. They can rot to hell. Whoever uses that character can just rot in hell. It requires absolutely zero skill at all to get kills with the gravity spikes or Grav Slam. Like, it's a complete joke. But but like I said, I do enjoy the specialist characters a little bit more than the current operator system, just because they had unique gameplay abilities, and we don't really see that here in Black Ops Cold War. And what it would be cool though is if we took these specialist characters and we made each of them have their own field upgrade, because we can select our own field upgrade in our created classes. And so I guess the system we have now with the field upgrade system on how we select them is better than my recommendation I'm about to give here. But I think it would be really interesting if they had each of these operators have their own specific field upgrades. For example, Adler could have like the ammo box, or Woods could have the trophy system or something like that, because, you know, the field upgrade systems, they're not like really that powerful, but they can be very useful in certain circumstances. And so I think it would be kind of cool if each operator had their own field upgrade. But I guess the only issue with that is that you would have to, I guess, essentially change characters if you want to use a different field upgrade. And of course, there isn't really that many field upgrades compared to how many operators are in the game, so it wouldn't really work out. But it was just something that I think would get me more interested in each of the characters in the game, because they would actually let me care on what their names are. That's another thing. That's another reason why I just don't really care about these operators. I barely know any of the names. Like, when I'm recording this video right now and I'm coming up with examples of names of the operators, I keep going back to Adler and Woods because they're the only two that are actually in the campaign, and that you actually like know for sure what their name is. But all these other characters that you can still play as in the multiplayer or in Warzone, I barely know any of their names. Like, especially with each of the new, I guess, bad guy operators we get each season, I can't remember their names because I just don't care. Like, there's just no point of remembering their names because there's nothing unique about any of these characters other than maybe what's going on in the storyline. But anyway, yeah, that's really all I have to say. I just am not a big fan of this operator system. Obviously, they come up with good skins and stuff like that. Most of them you have to pay for, which I don't do. I don't really feel like spending a bunch of COD points on characters that I'm barely going to even play. So yeah, anyway, that's just my opinion, you guys. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments, what you think of the operator system currently in Modern Warfare and in Black Ops Cold War. And of course, it's going to be returning in the Vanguard game, which I assume is going to play exactly the same way. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you leave a like on this video, and of course, subscribe to the channel for more Call of Duty videos every single day. And I shall catch you guys later.